Goon Man, he wants to know, do you guys have any tips on defending a good player that uses empty sets? It's hard to blitz this year with all the quick passes, as well as the effectiveness of pass leading and routes like outs and comebacks that are also difficult to defend.
I mean, if you're playing on 360, is there a better way to do it than just go straight 2-man under?
No, you definitely want to hit that up. And let's go to empty set here on PlayStation 3. I'll get this set up here.
Okay.
But the key with empty sets is, if I'm in like a base 4-3, you want to be in dime or maybe something with 2 down line. The key is that they cannot scramble. So,
or they can't really pick your pressure up. That's one advantage.
A, they can't pick up pressure, and B, they can't run a draw.
Right.
So you can either they're at your mercy because you could either blitz them and they can't really do anything.
Right.
If you blitz them, you know they have to get the ball out fast because you know they can't protect it. And if you drop everybody back, you know you're not really in trouble for a draw.
Correct.
Because they're going to be running into guys if they try and scramble with the quarterback. So
correct.
One thing I'll do is I'll always try and realign my guys.
Right.
So say it's trips to the right, this guy over here. I want to make sure that this safety's in this area, and then I'll probably use the middle, but I know where my defense is tender against the spread looks. I know who's dropping back. I'm going to drop probably something like this and rush 1 maybe, or rush 2 here, and just kind of, if I sense that it's an out, if I know it's, anytime that I know, so say he could run it out to either side here. Where we are on the field, we're at the 30-yard line. I have no problem dropping Cromartie into a hook zone because it's going to eat outs. And I'm really not that concerned that he's going to try and go deep to lock it longer than a deep zone. You got to mix it up, and you got to be you gotta literally be able to have the confidence that he's going to run it out. That he's going to either run it out, or that your blitz is going to get there fast enough that if you were to do yellow against it to stop those outs, you're basically running cover 2 sync without the cover 2. You got to be confident that it's gonna he's actually not going deep, and you don't want to do it from his 10-yard line when he has 90 yards of field and can actually run past it, because run a streak to maybe run a streak to Crabtree. Hang on here, and just watch how hard it is. Wait till he's not even really going to get open till the 15-yard line. You're not going to know that it's not a deep.
Right. Correct.
And by the time so anytime
the more field there is behind him,
the more dangerous
the harder it is for the yellow to actually stay with them. Just keep that in mind.
So this is a yellow zone, which is going to do a pretty good job against outs. It's going to be there to have a chance to make a play, and you can usually get an interception. Here he kind of plays them. This is a yellow zone. It drops all the way back.
If there's more field, he would have dropped off a little sooner.
He would have let go of them there. But by the time you had to throw, it was an overthrow.
If there was more field, he would drop right there.
Yeah, and you could probably inside pass lead, but not with a streak on the outside, only from the inside. And you could maybe run a fade, but then you're just kind of getting into the.
So I want to show you one thing, a good way that you could defend an empty set. Another on top of what Farles was showing you here. So Farles, let me take the D stick, and so for example, if you had a formation, we go 46 bear. For example, you're on offense.
What would you like it?
Go empty. No, go empty because we're talking about the empty set.
10-4.
Curl flat. That's fine. So one thing I like to do. So if you were in a defense where you're baselining and pressing, one thing I always like to do is to create a cover 4 look out of that cover 3 shell. So in this situation, you see I dropped the free safety who was in a hook in the box. I drop him into a cover 4. And now you see that I call this a cover 7 because if you look at the left side of the field, we have a cover 4 deep assignment. So both these safeties are playing cover 4 assignments, where on the right side of the field, the safeties, the defensive backs and the safety are playing a cover 3 assignment. So if you do cover 4 plus cover 3, cover 7. That's what I call it. But what I like to do to defend these empty sets is I'm going to choose one side to bring pressure. So for example, if I wanted to bring pressure off the right edge, I'm blitzing the linebacker down. What I typically do is I take this safety here, and I like to split the defenders. I like to split them because then it makes it feel as though that there's a defender there. Where a lot of times, say you have a formation like this and you leave the safeties high, right? what I'm doing by leaving them high like that is I'm giving I feel as though, at least for me, I feel as though I'm giving my opponent false confidence that they could, snap, throw the ball to them. And while they're correct, that's not good for my defense. So if I move my defender over them, I feel as though that it kind of gets in their own head, like, oh, that guy might be in a yellow zone there.
Yep.
He might be on an assignment. And it just deters them from throwing something quick, doing something quick. And then what I do is I use the inside guy here. I look to see if he goes on anything over the middle, I'll grab it. And then if I look for like a zig or quick out or something to the right guy, snap the ball, I got to go over there, get to it, and try and drop off and make a play. But defending the empty set, I would say try and balance out your formation. You definitely don't want the too high safety look because, like, again, I think that how much of a pain in the neck is it when you're playing someone and they just snap throw it and you're like, that area is covered.
Yeah.
It's covered, but how can you make your opponent fear it more? I would say is probably the better way to go about getting the desired result you want on defense.
Yes, and just remember, no draw, so don't feel like you can't drop everybody back. And then also, they can't pick up much pressure, so you have that. So if you're going to pressure, get up in their face. If not, you can drop everybody back and kind of move from there. Here we're forced to roll out, try and kind of move the spy, but this is not a good proposition. And overall, I don't see empty sets in this year's game as dominant.
Pretty good early on when we were using
early
them.
on when we were running a lot of curl flats before it kind of caught on, and I liked it because the tight end on the line of scrimmage, you could fade him and he would miss, he wouldn't get the press. But I found out that I really needed the draw from the gun spread set, so having the tight end as a running back in the backfield to really have the threat be there, and then them not being able to drop guys back, and that kind of. That's why I went to the Packers, but then they didn't have the back, so then we put Cobb there. So it really is a mix, but I don't fear the empty set. It's a matter of getting everything adjusted properly and getting your guys lined and knowing where players should be on defense. So.
Right.